All right. What is up? We are back. I sound terrible. That's right. Do I have laryngitis? I don't know. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Besides the fact that we're all trying to get back in the swing of it being a new year. Gang, I am so down bad. I got the worst COVID of my life. And then that turned into an ear infection that has got me. I'm on day 9 of sickness. I haven't even gotten an ear infection, y'all, since I was like 8. It's been almost 30 years since I've had an ear infection. I didn't even know adults could get ear infections.
That's a kid illness.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Matt, you've got that nice teenage boy cracking voice right now.
Yep.
Killing it. Like,
look,
sounds great.
We've seen both ends of the spectrum. You had the most energetic HYROX race brain intro when we did our HYROX end of the year episode.
Oh, and
now you're the opposite end of the spectrum.
No, I'm going to bring the energy. I'm going to crack like a prepubescent boy. And I'm probably going to get clipped by plenty of people on the interwebs. But on today's show, Jack Bauer is back from New Hampshire with a story to tell. Jack, you sat next to a very special person on the plane yesterday. You want to tell us about it?
I did, yeah. So I was talking with this woman who there was an empty seat in between us, and she kept talking about how there was a person who kept kicking the back of her seat. And I was like, yeah, you just gotta, avoid it or just fight back against that. And then we just started talking a little bit, and she was like asking some of the stuff that I do. I'm like, oh, I do some HYROX and stuff. And I'm like, you look like you were an athlete. And she kind of chuckled. And I was like, oh, what were you an athlete in? She's like, I won a gold medal in the 100 hurdles at the 1984 Olympics. I'm like, oh, okay.
No big deal.
I suddenly am not going to tell you anything that I do because it's completely irrelevant. But yeah, so she was really cool. Benita Fitzgerald Brown was her name. And we just kind of talked track and field for about 30, 40 minutes before the plane ended. And one of the most accomplished athletes I've ever talked with.
Sounds like the greatest person to sit next to on a plane. That doesn't happen.
Yeah. Besides everyone coughing around us. It was a good flight.
And you too, if you go back and listen to the credit card episodes on how to maximize points and status, you too may be able to sit next to an Olympian.
Do you want to know why this happened, Matt? It's because I got upgraded for free because I got that silver status on United. They put me in premium economy, not this back of the hurdle or cattle class and Frontier Airlines anymore. I'm sitting with the big boys and girls right now. So got partnered with a really good person.
On that note, I should have done more better due diligence. I wound up getting the Amex Platinum card, which is one of the ones that Debo talked about in that episode. And I got the intro offer. I've got lots of points. Great for Marriott one-to-one transfers, but I'm very limited on the airlines that I can transfer to.
That's what I was saying. It depends on what your home airport is.
For sure.
If you're a Delta guy, Amex is pretty good, but if not, it's kind of
yeah.
You're St. Louis now, so you're Southwest.
St. Louis is American. Yeah, it's American and Southwest, so that's tough.
Yeah.
And back from the Jersey Shore. My voice is cracking just like it was back in the days when Vinny was hitting the Vuvuzuela. We got Michelle Navarro back again. Michelle, how was your break?
It was nice. I'm one to enjoy the holidays. I love family time, love all the food. However, I am very excited to just get back into a routine. It's challenging just trying to do all of the training and meal planning when you're kind of thrown for a loop through all the holidays.
No doubt.
I'm just not, I don't like to stay up late. So New Year's is just not my jam.
Yeah. I had a new hire that started yesterday, and she started in one of our offices in Texas. And for anybody that works in office for my company, you get lunch provided. And I asked her, I said, hey, how was the lunch? And she said, oh, it was great. I got a salad with some chicken. She goes, I'm pretty sure that's the first green thing that I've eaten since November. And I was like, I think that's where we're all at.
Yeah,
I think everybody is ready for a little bit of
we all need a cleanse.
Consistency. All right. Well, we are back in the swing of things here on the HYROX Rundown. Unfortunately, that's going to happen a couple times. There's just no way around it. The energy will be high. The quality of my voice will be low. But today we are going to do a recap of the first half of the HYROX season. We're going to do a few lightning rounds. I've got a couple questions for the squad, and we will go ahead and knock this out. We got a couple different topics. So the first topic of the day for our panel is roughly halfway through the season. We're just going to get a fast little lightning round to get the people back, get the brains moving again, get people thinking about HYROX as we got Phoenix coming up here in like 3.5 weeks. Our first lightning round topic, Jack, Michelle, your surprise of the season so far.
All right. Without question, I think the surprise of the season is that Joanna Wetrick has asserted herself as the number one woman to beat in HYROX. I don't think a lot of people expected her to, or there to be a runaway favorite, not named Lauren Weeks at this point. Joanna had a fantastic rookie season, but she has just asserted herself at the front of the pack. We haven't seen Meg, but we've seen her just, I'm going to take the lead right from the front, basically this whole season, and no one's on her level at the moment.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. It's been quite assertive, the authority that she's had in these first few majors. So it feels very dominant so far and presents an exciting opportunity for the top.
Hard to argue. She's 2 for 2. Last year it was Lauren won Amsterdam, Joanna won Hong Kong, and then Lauren won Glasgow, and
then she got her number in Chicago. I think she was. I think she's now
what was the
4-2.
Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
Did Lauren win Vegas too? Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah,
she won all of them except for Hong Kong.
But right now, Joanna has a lifetime head-to-head winning record against Lauren, if I'm not mistaken.
No, yeah, that's my point. Coming out of last season, just furthering the point that you made, we thought it'd be close, but I definitely don't think Joanna does seem like she is at the top right now. How long that'll last with Meg being back in the mix here in 3 weeks, who knows? But Jack, I agree. I think that's a strong contender. Michelle, your surprise of the season so far.
Yeah, I'm just taking it back to the last major in Melbourne. Charlie Bottrill really surprised me as coming in third and getting his world champ spot. There was a lot of competition, especially some newcomers to the elite actual racing in the majors, and he just slowly ascended throughout that race. So that was a really good surprise, and I'm fairly certain he also placed in doubles for his world champ spot too. So great performance from him.
It is fair to say that we are all surprised that Charlie Bottrill's body still works.
Yeah.
Charlie, I'm just kidding. You're a great guy. That's a good one, Michelle. I'm not going to lie. That's what I was going to go with. But she beat me to it. That's a good one. My surprise of the season, I am going to let my North American bias show. Give me Cole Learn. Guy is, this is obviously a little bit of recency bias here, but guy is on fire. And not to say that we didn't necessarily think that he couldn't do this. He's represented Canada, or he represented Canada in the relay the last 2 years. But prior to this season, his best time was a 57.56, which is nothing to, or nothing to, sneeze at. But no indication that he was going to be dropping 55s, 54s. And then in his first race down under, finished 6th overall, and then took the world record.
That's right.
With Molly, with a 49.13. Cole's hot right now.
Head-to-head against.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say head-to-head. They ended up beating arguably the best possible team that you could come up on paper for for that mixed world record.
No doubt.
He's one of he's one of the North Americans that we've been watching just kind of tackle every North American race up until these majors. He was in Boston. Was he in all of them? Atlanta. He was in Chicago.
Boston, Atlanta, Chicago.
So I feel like at least in North America, it's been built up time and time again at each race, and to see him have so much success to like actually make it into the major and, you know, have a great performance as his first elite major. It was really exciting to see. And there's definitely some more North Americans that we're all hoping get in as well. So that's a really nice.
Uh-oh.
She gone. I'm sure she'll be back here momentarily.
I've done the same thing.
Yeah, we've all been there. It happens.
Yeah. Cole learned sixth place in his debut at a major. You don't want him near you in the second half of a race. Clearly, he has that experience now. He's going to be a problem. And even at all those local races that we were talking about, he's winning them or very, very close to winning them. And that just shows that, you know, he's not just a time trial racer right there. He's going for the win, and that matters when qualifying spots are on the line at these majors. So I think he's got the mental edge and the physical ability.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Joanna, Charlie, or Cole Learn?
I'll save him for the later stuff.
All right. Okay. Next, quick. Ooh, tough, Michelle.
Oh no, she's got that soil settling. Bad internet.
Actually, one quick question for you, Jack, as a stats fan, while we're waiting for her to get back in. Is that the best debut by a man on the Elite 15 side?
I mean, didn't Charlie get third?
Oh, was that Charlie's first race? You're right, it was.
It was. Yeah, and I'm sure.
Yeah,
that,
you're right. You're right.
You know,
you're right.
He
had raced,
others. Yeah.
Charlie had raced doubles. Well, yeah. So he had raced in Elite 15, but not Elite 15 singles.
So I can confirm that he beat Cole during that race. So
yeah,
surely
we're gonna blame that on the
COVID brain.
If you knew the amount of drugs that were running through this system right now, I'm just saying.
People be questioning after your last episode, but
these are different drugs. These are different drugs. Do you know it? Is it like this where you guys live? In order to get Sudafed in Missouri, you have to go to a pharmacy. It's behind the counter. You got to show an ID and you got to tell them what you want it for.
That might be true. I don't know for sure, but I feel like there's definitely a few of the standard ones that you kind of have to do that for.
It's because the meth capital of the U.S. is about 45 minutes south of here in Jefferson County, Missouri. And I was like, do I look? I was like, do I look? That's apparently the wrong thing to say. I go, do I look like I do meth? They did not find that funny. They did not find that funny. All right. Jack started the last round, lightning round. Michelle, biggest storyline of the season so far for you?
Since I had some technical issues, I don't know what Jack actually said, but mine. Okay,
yeah, you're going first because he led off surprise of the season.
All right,
you're going to lead off storyline.
So my storyline, I would say, is Meg's return. I feel like this has been an anticipated situation really for the past year, but it's finally happening. She's got her 2 times. She's coming to Phoenix, and we're all going to see her return in just lightning fashion, and I can't wait for it.
Hard to disagree. It is without Meg in the field, that is a story. Like there's only a few people in HYROX that them being in or being out is a storyline. Meg is one of those people. Definitely agree. Jack, your biggest storyline of the season so far?
Without all 4 men in the same, you know, the top 4 contenders, I don't think that there's a favorite on the men's side yet. Someone is going to miss the podium. And at this point, in my opinion, you've got Alex, Dylan, Tim, and Hunter just separating themselves from the pack. But I don't know who the favorite is at this point. We kind of all agree that Joanna is head and shoulders above everybody at the moment who we've seen. Meg hasn't entered a major yet, but at the majors, Joanna seems to be the heavy favorite. On the men's side, you had 2 battles right down to the wire between Dylan and Alex, and then Hunter and Tim, but all 4 of them weren't on the same start line. So until we get that happening, I don't know how you can say that there's a heavy favorite at the moment.
All right, fair enough. My biggest storyline, we're going to call it changing of the guard. And the reason why I'm saying that, if you look at the Phoenix Major, these are the names of some of the people that are in. Cole Learn, Luke Greer, Josh Van Zeeland, Charlie Bottrill. That is 5 names that were not in an Elite 15 race last year. If you roll down, there are additional names that were not in Elite 15 races last year. On the women's side, Kat Parnell, Gabrielle Nakora Baker, Lena Putters, Manuela Garcia Caparros, also names that were not in Elite 15 races last year. Whereas from like 2022 to like halfway through the 24 season, it was basically the same cast of characters. We are now, and you'd see 1 or 2 people get in via roll down. We are now seeing net new names that are just firmly in, that are not roll downs. Again, the health of the sport has never been better. All right. Last one here to set the table, and then we'll switch topics. One athlete you're watching closely heading into the back half. I'll kick this one off. For me, the athlete that I am going to closely be watching is Vivian DeFudo. I think that people have already maybe forgotten Vivian's performance in Hamburg to start the year because she didn't race Melbourne. But then she came back in that Vancouver race and was a part of the world record setting doubles race with Lauren. She is healthy. She has been ascending. And I actually am not convinced that she's not going to be a factor, not just for a podium, but to potentially win. I think that she could be a problem for Meg, Joanna, and Lauren. So one athlete I'm watching closely, Vivian DeFudo. Jack.
I've got Josh Van Zeeland. He was the best runner in Melbourne. He ran a 30:17 for his 8.7K total. And until rep number 93 on wall balls, he was in 3rd place. He very easily could have gotten into the major. That was his major debut. Charlie got the best of him. Sean ended up passing him towards the end. But that guy can run. He's young. He's not going away anytime soon.
Good pick. Michelle?
Kind of similar situation, but on the women's side.
Michelle is going to laugh every time my voice cracks. I've already figured this out.
It's very entertaining. I appreciate the entertainment, Matt. I have Kat Parnell to watch for. Kind of similar situation to Josh Van Zeeland. She was very close to getting her world champ spot in her very first major, but came down to the wall balls and a couple other people slid in before her. So I feel like that was a great first major performance, and I'm looking forward to seeing just an even better situation from her in the future.
All right. That is our primer for the episode. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Jack and Michelle have been waiting for this for weeks. We are going to break these athletes down into tiers. Do you want to start men or women?
Will and Ames. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care either one.
All right, we will start with the men. We always start with the women. Okay, we're going to do 3 tiers. Tier 1, championship favorites. Tier 2, podium threats. Tier 3, breakthrough/volatile athletes. Jack, Michelle, your tier 1 championship favorites for the men.
Go for it, Jack.
I mentioned them earlier. Alex and Dylan, 2-man battle in Hamburg. Tim and Hunter, 2-man battle in Melbourne. Those are your championship favorites right now. No one's been within like 50 seconds of them at either of the majors.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's my top choice.
That is going to be a clean sweep. There it is again. A little crack on the wheat. We're going to go Alex, Dylan, Tim, Hunter are your championship favorites. Look, who was the last person The one borderline person here would be JK, right? When was the last time JK won a major?
Last year.
Glasgow?
That sounds about right.
Glasgow. Okay. So we're coming up on right about a year. Yeah. I mean,
March.
You haven't even seen, these are the only 4 names. Well, actually, to be fair, Hunter hasn't won an elite race in almost, did we just cross the anniversary?
Stockholm,
Hunter hasn't won in
December, 2 years.
23. Hunter hasn't won an elite race in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So I'm actually going to throw that out there. I know I'm going to look, all the Hunter stands are going to come at me. Debo accuses me of being a Hunter stan. Can we say the Hunter is a championship favorite, tier 1 athlete, when he hasn't won an elite race in 2 years?
Well, yes. if he works on stepping on white lines and identifying where finishing areas are on zones,
yeah,
I know
that's racing.
I'm well aware, but if he works on his white line color recognition, coming from a colorblind person, he shaves off 10, 15 seconds right there. He's could be Tim easily in Melbourne.
Without that penalty, he won that race.
I don't disagree, but men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Hunter hadn't won in 2 years, and it's always something.
We'll see in Phoenix.
All right, I played devil's advocate. So we feel good about this. We're gonna go. Alex, Dylan, Tim, Hunter.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That would be our tier 1. We're just going to quickly establish the tiers, and then we'll go. I've got some questions. Tier 2, podium threats. Jack, you started off. So Michelle, your podium threats for tier 2.
I feel like some of these guys have been doing consistently well, both in majors and in local races. I have Sean Noble, Charlie Bottrill, and Josh Van Zeeland in this podium threat territory.
Jack?
Is this majors or world championship?
I guess I was thinking majors and world championship, not just world champ.
Yeah, that's fair. To be unclear is to be unkind. So it was unkind of me. What do you guys want to do? You want to do majors or the world championship?
Well, if this is world championship, I'm just going to say it. No one else is getting above 5th place besides the 4 guys that we mentioned.
Mm.
And I feel the same way.
That's why it's the key word is threat.
Yeah.
The threat.
I mean, no one was a threat to them in either races as a breakaway pack. I don't see multiple of them blowing up, going for the win world championship this year. My opinion, if we're talking majors, no one else at this point, if all 4 of them are in the same race. Otherwise, Michelle nailed it right there. We saw Hitty end up getting on the podium at the first major. Sean Noble's been crushing it. He ended up getting 4th. Josh Van Zeeland easily could have got on the podium, but Charlie Bottrill ended up doing it. Those are probably the likely suspects at this point. But I still think if you get everyone in the same race, there are 4 people and then a gap.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. The only, I feel like you'd probably have to put JK here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's had a tough stretch the last 6 months, but going into Worlds last year, he was the favorite, and that was only 7 months ago. So if he regains form, I definitely think you'd have to put him in the threat category.
That
did
is
you guys
fair.
even hear that, or did my voice just go out?
Oh, we're experts at this, man.
Yeah, we could figure it out.
Okay. All right. So then are we putting everybody else in the tier 3 then? Just going to lump them all together? Breakthrough volatile athlete?
I think the volatile athlete might be someone like Rich Ryan, where we just don't know what he's like. He's clearly got podium potential, but he's a new dad dealing with the calf injury, but he's as good as anybody when he's on. And that's kind of the definition of volatility.
He's as good as 5th place when he's on. Let's not say he's as good as anybody.
Yeah. Anybody in the next pack. That's what I'm referring to.
Never going to give Rich credit. Ever. Just kidding, Rich. Although I know you won't listen to this. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think there's a difference between breakthrough and volatile for sure. Here's a fun question for the panel. Who thinks that they're tier 1 but hasn't proven it yet?
I feel like everyone should think they're
Every
tier
single-
1.
Yeah.
You got to believe that you can be at the top in order to get there. I feel like all of these guys have that quality.
I mean, I tend to think that mentally, but has anybody gone out with Dylan or Alex or Tim or Hunter during their race? They kind of had a gap pretty early on. Maybe Sean Noble, he kind of made a little surge to get into ski erg early on, but like it wasn't like it was a 3-4 person race really at any point after 5-10 minutes into the men's race at either of the majors. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people think that if they have their day, they can beat anybody, but I don't know. They're never on camera up at the front. So I don't think that they think it's a smart decision to try to go out too fast.
I feel like Sean Noble thinks that he's tier 1 and hasn't proven it yet. If there is one athlete who, when I look at the way that they race, the way they carry themselves, like bad luck just seems to find Sean, but like you could tell he really does believe that he could beat any of these guys.
Well, and he takes risks too, which you definitely need to do if you want to be at the top. So I would give him that as well. Like he's taking risks, and unfortunately, I've seen some, worse circumstances, but he's at least going for it.
Yeah. Whereas like Dylan is probably someone who like is tier 1, but like thinks he's tier 3. Is there anyone more self-deprecating than Dylan?
Yeah,
he's
certainly
better now.
tier 1.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree. If I had to narrow it down to someone, it would probably be Sean Noble.
Yeah,
because his past 5 races, he's done 54-28 to 55-57. He hasn't really cracked ever, and like his running's as good as basically anybody in the field. He just needs to stop like diving over the line at the wrong time or running extra right before heading into wall balls. Like, yeah, trouble does seem to find him, like you said.
Yeah. Is tier 3 deeper than ever, or are we overhyping it?
no, I feel like it's definitely there. There's an overwhelming amount of athletes that are really at that top level now. And just depending on where these majors are, it depends on who decides to travel. But we're seeing some new names break in, and they're really all very comparable in terms of time. So I would say it's pretty deep.
Yeah, if we look ahead to Warsaw, just as an example, here are some names and their current ranking. Graham Holiday, 18th. Bo Wills, 21. Jake Dearden, 23. Tom Rogers, 26. Rich Ryan, 28. Gabe Heck, 40. Gabe Heck has traditionally been a roll down athlete. 4 of those names have been staples of the Elite 15 for 2 to 3 years now and would need serious help to get into Warsaw should it come down to it.
Yeah.
If you just I'm looking at Phoenix, and 55-14 is 15th best. That means your average of your best 2 races is 55-14. A few years ago, 60 was placing around 10th in some of the majors. It's ridiculous.
That's wild.
It's nuts. It's nuts. All right. On to the women. I kind of like this format. I kind of like this
For sure.
fast-paced, getting it. Tier 1. We're gonna go championship favorites. We're gonna go with the big 3.
Big 4.
Yeah, I would count Vivian in there now as well.
Well, we're gonna put Vivian in there, then we got to put the reigning world champ in there. No.
Recency bias, I guess, is determining that factor for
To
me.
be fair, this is a first half recap, so this is you do not have to consider previous seasons. This is based on how the first half of this season went. So
Yeah,
don't let me influence you.
yeah.
It's like
I mean,
power rankings.
yeah. I mean, that is how I'm viewing it. I'm just viewing this season. So I have just Joanna, Lauren, Meg, and Vivian right now.
Exact
Yeah.
same for me. As good as Linda has been in the past, tons of podiums at majors in previous years, reigning world champion. She just hasn't looked like a world beater this season so far. I know that she paces herself well, knows it's a long season, and
Yeah.
tends to peak at the right time. But based on what we've seen this first half, she's not in that category yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say she tends to ascend later on in the season, so I don't have any doubt that we'll see that from her.
All right. Well, then you could make the same argument for the women that you did for the men, Jack, that there are no podium threats then, because you're going to get a podium out of those four.
If you saw my cheat sheet, that is exactly what it says. It says no one besides the 4 women above will finish better than 5th.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who's
I don't
fading?
know.
Who's fading out of them?
Here's the only thing that I will say. We have yet to see, other than the 2 races, or was it 2 or 3 races back in 2022, 2023, when we got to see Michaela, Meg, and Lauren. We don't know what's going to happen with 3 or 4 racers running hard from the front. We don't know what kind of carnage that's going to create.
Mm-hmm.
Because to be fair, on the men's side, that is exactly how we've gotten some of these upsets, is that they go out hot, someone winds up cracking, someone sneaks in for a 3rd or for a 4th. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying until we see Phoenix and actually see what kind of carnage might take place as a result of having 4 women who are going to gun it from the start. Like, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but like Lucy Proctor looked really good in Melbourne. So did Sinead. And that was her first race back. They're going to run hard too. And could they sneak for a 3 because we have a blow up?
I also don't necessarily think it's about any of the top 4 fading. I think it's about the middle tier just continuing to progress and get better and get to that top level. So look at someone like Emily Dahmen, who's been running 59s on, local courses. And once she gets back into the majors, I mean, that's not nothing. Only a handful of women have gone under 60. And yeah, I would agree. Lucy and Sinead were also in that podium threat category. So I think it's about them ascending and joining that pack.
I did not see that Emily ran a sub 60 on that Stockholm course. Michelle, that's a deep cut.
59,
a deep cut.
I mean,
that's legit.
That's not nothing.
My argument against this is in Melbourne, Lauren 58.48, Lucy 60.02. That's over a minute. And then if we look at Hamburg, Lauren 59.14, Secca Arning 60.36. And I know that Lena had her penalty, but still, she's like a minute clear of 4th. I just don't think anyone has. I don't see a way that any of these women will fall out of the top 4.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting when you have all of the top women that were like all discussing together in the same race. I do think that changes things. With these other races that you just mentioned, there's only a couple at a time. I think it does change when all of them are competing together and they all change the dynamic of each other's race. So I really do think that that's the only thing that will kind of shake it up, or will be a possibility of it shaking up.
And just think of the race dynamic that we've seen. All the women just respect Joanna and Lauren going out fast. No one tries going out with them right away. So in my mind, that automatically puts you in tier 2 at best, because you're not going to win at that point if you don't go out with them.
It's fair.
Yep. All right, I hear you. All right, then we would put everybody else in. I would say the breakthrough athletes, just to give some airtime. The breakthrough athletes would be Sinead, Lucy, Emily, Jess, Petro,
Yep.
Lena.
Kat. Okay, you're right. There's too many. All right. Which proves the point. Which proves the point. You already know what question is coming. Is tier 3 deeper than ever on the women's side? That is a resounding yes. All right. Next topic. Winners, losers, stock movement. Are we buying or selling? Jack, you're first up. Who helped themselves the most in the first half?
In terms of established athletes or new athletes?
Their stock is trending up. Do with that what you want.
Dylan Scott. I think that after getting a podium at World Champs last year, he has just continued that momentum, and he finally put to rest the Dylan can't travel internationally reputation that he's had for years, and he's just looked unbeatable. Volume, I don't know how he handles all that volume, but whatever he's doing, every time that he steps in the race course, he's been phenomenal.
Did you see his Instagram post? Did you see his Instagram post the other day? He's up to 32 hours a week of training.
Yikes.
My body hurts reading that.
Yeah. And let's not forget, Dylan entered wall balls essentially tied with Alex when Alex set the world record. Wall balls have kind of been something that he's needed to clean up for a while, but you don't accidentally enter the final station 50 minutes into a race at world record pace without being, on the rise.
Yep.
For sure.
All right, Michelle, who has helped themselves the most?
I wanted to give this to Hitty because he did really well in that first major. And that was a surprise to me, him claiming that third spot in the first major. So I think it's easy to forget when we have something more recent in our minds. So I just wanted to go back to that. I think his stock is up, just claiming that spot right away.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick. For me, stock up. Seika Arning.
I thought we were separating genders, but that's fine.
Oh no,
if
it's
you
just
combine them.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
I had others in mind on the women's side, but
all right.
fine.
If you got others, I'll give you we'll draft this baby. I'll give you Seika, and then I'll go for a man. You guys can go with the women.
Okay.
I just feel like Seika has finally figured out some of the health issues that she was having. She's been she had a really strong race in Hamburg. She just got in, I think, yesterday or today, and for the Elite 15 doubles. You would think that she'll probably get her spot for Worlds, but someone who was kind of up and down, could have like a good race, could have a really bad race. She's shown more consistency. So give me Seika on the women's side. And then, to be fair, for the men, oh my God, stock up. I mean, it's got to be Charlie Bottrill. I mean, the dude has just proven himself. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. You just don't think it's possible. He thinks it is, and he continues to prove it every single day. Getting third in his first elite race, he has now secured a spot in singles and doubles. So give me Seika and Charlie. Michelle, on the women's side for you, stock up.
Yeah, I would say Lucy's stock is up. Again, podium in her major back into the season. I think that she's only going to continue to progress from here. So I would say her stock is up.
Jack.
Mine's going to be a little atypical. I think DC major, if we look ahead, we've already got Vivian, Lauren, and Meg presumably will clinch her spot. I think that you're going to have a few spots already taken. So roll down will probably go to 4th or 5th. I'm looking at Brooklyn Nichols after what she did in Decafit World Champs and then running a 61.05 in Chicago. I think that she is going to get that roll down spot for World Championships and finally get that chance to go against the other top women in the sport, because it's so hard to break into. I think her stock this fall has been trending upwards like crazy.
Good call.
Good call. All right. On the flip side, stock down. Now, I want to be clear on this because Michelle is the nicest host on Race Brain and would never talk bad about anybody. And I don't want Michelle to talk bad about anybody. This is not personal. This is just performance and trajectory. So just based on expectations relative to their expectations, stock down. This doesn't mean they're a bad person. Doesn't mean that we think that they're a bad racer. Just is not having the season that we thought that they might coming into it. Jack, why don't you kick us off?
Men or women?
Go with the women because we started men last time.
Stock down. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with Lauren Griffith. Looks like once she hurt her hip, she's just kind of been not healthy since then. She really struggled with the sled. Didn't she have a tough time, like 7 or 8 minutes in Dallas? She just hasn't really looked as dominant as she had in the past. And I hope she gets back to full health, but she just hasn't looked the same this season.
Yep. Michelle?
Yeah, I would say we have the highest expectations of the world champ. So I've got Linda Meyer here. Not that she's been doing bad this season. It's just we want to see the world champ at the top and continuously. So I hope that we continue to see that from her towards the rest of the season.
Yep. And then I will go with Zara Piergiani. Someone who's kind of in that mid pack that we were waiting to kind of ascend, and she's now kind of on the outside looking in based on the times. For the dudes, stock down, Jack.
I'm gonna have to go with Pelayo. I think that he had a pretty bad injury at World Championships, hasn't really raced, and all of his results are coming off the board once mid-March rolls around. It's going to be tough to crack back into the Elite 15 realistically, unless he can find a couple of fast horses.
Yep. Michelle.
Yeah, same thing along the lines of just having really high expectations for this person. I have JK here, just expecting that he might have clinched his world champ spot. So I think he has it in the doubles, but yeah, looking to see him, his trajectory go up for the rest of the season.
All right. And then I have got JK's partner, Jake Dearden. We'll see what happens once he gets the marathon behind him, but someone who you'd expect to be more of a factor based on his running has not been a factor much this year. All right. Last one in this segment. We'll go to the next and then we'll wrap up. This is kind of a fun one. Mispriced athletes. Athletes the community is too high or too low on. So Michelle, you can go positive. Athletes that you think that people are too low on, dealer's choice. You can start men or women. Michelle, mispriced athlete.
What about our guy, Rich Ryan here? I feel like people are forgetting that he's going to be at the top when he comes back in Phoenix because we haven't seen him race. So I would say that we got to look out for him.
One vote for Rich. Jack?
I'm going to head over to the women's side. And this is only because she is no longer the unanimous choice. I think that Lauren Weeks, there is a true chance she might not make the podium at a major this year, which is crazy to hear because she's pretty much been a lock her entire career.
Wait, so you think people are too high on her or too low?
I think people are still a little too high. Like we pick her number 1 overall in the draft. Actually, Bracken picked Joanna last time, but I think that her reputation, obviously, she's going to compete as hard as anybody and still be close to the front. But we've just seen several races in a row. These sleds are not her friend. And I think that it's kind of something that she really needs to resolve.
All right. I'm going to take the other side of that coin. Hunter McIntyre, mispriced. I brought this up at the beginning of the show. I still think that Hunter is maybe the best athlete in the field. Still probably the greatest of all time. Hasn't won a race in 2 years. So it's no disrespect, but you can't keep picking somebody to win who hasn't won in 2 years. So something to think about. Any other mispriced athletes? Too high or too low? I think that people are too high on Hunter. I think that people might still be, if this is even possible, I think people might be too low on Dylan.
I think overlooked.
I think for whatever reason, he still gets overlooked, which makes no sense. based on the last 12 months. But I still think that people think that it's Tim or it's Hunter or it's Alex. And I don't know why. But I think that people are too low on Dylan. Like his time is coming.
For sure.
Anybody else?
I mean, there are a lot of breakthrough athletes. I'm sure we'll see them pop up, but in terms of like true contenders at the front of the pack, those are probably who we need to discuss.
All right. Okay. One more segment, then we'll wrap up here. Second half predictions and pressure. Michelle, one athlete under the most pressure in the second half.
I guess I would go with JK here, just because we want to see him claim his spot. So yeah, I would pick him on the men's side.
Jack?
Under the most pressure, I mean, JK was definitely going to be my pick. Matt, you take this. I gotta. You know what? I'll go Jonathan Wynn just because he always seems to find a way to get in, and this is the year he locked a spot into any major that he wants to show up due to his fifth place performance at Worlds. He didn't have the best race that he was looking for in Melbourne, but he's controlling his own destiny to make World Championships again. So let's see what he's got.
I am going to go with the Kiwi, Bo Wills. I think at the end of last season, we talked about how Bo was ascending and all of a sudden went from being that bottom third to all of a sudden he's a top 5 guy, maybe a podium guy. And then so far this year, let me just double check. 9th in Melbourne, 8th in Hamburg, and his times currently have him out of the top 15.
So thing about Bo is his weapon was the final 10, 15 minutes of the race, lunges, wall balls, running at the end. And it seems like the whole field is finally caught up. So he can't really weaponize that part of the race anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, Bo doesn't race a lot of the regional races. We know that that's going to matter for the rankings, but right now, looking forward, he's on the outside looking in. So, he'll definitely get in to the majors. One interesting thing to note, actually, is that APAC major or regional is 1 week before Warsaw. So, JK, Bo,
Win.
John. If one of them gets it in Phoenix, you'd have to ask yourself, do you fly down there and take the shot, but you got to win? Or do you stay and race on the continent that you live and train on? Something to think about.
Yeah.
Sounds like a future discussion.
It's actually also crazy because if you look at, there's a scenario where we get like a 58, 59 guy out of APAC.
Yeah.
Because if JK qualifies in Phoenix, or any of these guys qualify in Phoenix, well, actually, the scenario would have to be, let's just say that JK does because he lives in Brisbane, right? So let's say that JK qualifies in Phoenix. It doesn't matter what he does in that APAC regional. And then you're John or Bo, and you decide that you don't want to risk a coin flip because then you're going to have to get back on a plane and get back to Warsaw and get a spot there. I don't know what they would do. I literally know nothing, but you'd have to think about it, right? I mean, that's a lot of travel.
You're going to have to declare also for Warsaw before APAC. So you're hoping your body recovers.
Yeah. You might have, this might be a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Where we've got number 70 on the roll down list in at Worlds.
No, I don't think like a Tom Rogers, Gabe Heck, you've got enough depth there that it's not going to be a 58 or 9.
Can Gabe race it though? As an American passport holder?
I don't know about dual citizenship if he has Thailand or not.
I thought it was one. Okay. this I'm not 100% sure on, so don't quote me on it. I thought that you could only race one.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
maybe if he's got dual citizenship, maybe he declared for that. I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, he's not on the APAC one. Yeah, you're right. The 6901.
I feel like they also still
is
need to clean
50.
up those lists. I don't know how.
Yeah, I
accurate-
know, but Gabe would be on that list. I think it's because he's a U.S. citizen.
He's
That's
listed
his
with
primary-
USA next to his results.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's his primary passport.
I don't think that he'd be able
So-
to race at the US and then be like, I'm also going to do APAC. I don't think you're allowed to like double.
Yeah, and the question is, Tom Rogers is still coming back from an injury,
Hmm.
so it's not a foregone. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not
Okay.
like that crazy of a scenario. This could happen. All right. On the women's side, one athlete under the most pressure to perform in the second half.
Me? I can go for
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
Yeah, go for
Yeah, I would say it's Linda here, world champ. She's got to claim her spot as well. So pressure's on, I would say, for the next few majors.
Jack?
I think Joanna, just can she hold it from start to finish in a season? That's really difficult. Meg's coming back. The other athletes behind her are going to figure things out as the season goes on. I'm assuming she's going to try to race every single race this year, or every single major. But it's a long season. I have a feeling she's got the ability to do it, but will her body hold up to it? Who you got?
I'm gonna go Lauren, although I don't feel like she feels that pressure. She's just happy to race. But to your point, like I think that people are starting to wonder, like, okay, is it the new guard? So if I had to pick, that's what I would say. All right, we'll rapid fire here. We'll just do men or women. One bold prediction for Worlds. Jack.
Joanna's going to complete the season sweep, win every single major and world champs.
You think she's gonna win all the majors and Worlds?
Right now,
Bold. That is bold.
it's probably going to be wrong, but it's bold.
Michelle.
I don't know. I would say Hunter's coming back. So bold prediction. He's winning the next major and then going to world champs and winning that.
My bold prediction is we are going to get a first-time world champion on the men's side. It will be someone not named Hunter, Tim, or Alex.
So Dylan.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You can't get wrong. You can't be wrong if you don't name the name. All right. Who has the smallest margin for error?
Oof.
To be honest, I would say
Everyone.
Rich Ryan at the moment. Like 39 years old, new dad. He kind of has to have this workout in Phoenix. I know it's going to roll down to probably 8th or 9th realistically, but not a whole lot of room or not a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah, I mean, he could also be a candidate for under the most pressure. Because you're right. If Phoenix doesn't work out, he's going to have to
Go to
race
Rely on
DC.
DC. Yeah.
Yeah, and depending on how it works out for Cole, there's a scenario where Cole doesn't have a spot either. And then DC is Rich Ryan, Cole Earn, Jack Driscoll, Grayson Kilgore, Stephen Pelkoffer, who I think that people have kind of forgotten about a little bit, but like is putting in some crazy training now with Dylan. Dawson Miller has been in that race. Dawson's only been in his last 2 races. He's been 30 to 40 seconds behind Jack. It's not like he's way out there.
No.
Colin Steefer, Ryan Kent. And you could say like, oh yeah, Rich is better than all those guys. Maybe, but do you really want to take a shot that you got to beat that entire field?
It's anyone's day when that field is together.
Yeah.
And with
Yeah.
that much pressure, everyone has pressure. Let's just be
Right.
real.
Yeah. All right, Michelle, smallest margin for error.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I feel like we've named a good amount of people. I'm trying to think of anyone else that we haven't discussed. I don't know if I've got anybody, to be honest.
Is there like a Jonathan Wynn of the women's field who seems to race every single major, but just like it's going to be really difficult to make it this year?
I mean, I feel like we've seen a good amount of new names, which, there's providing not as much consistency within the majors. So I think that's also making it challenging just because we're
it's tough. The
continuing to
women
see.
is up and down.
Yeah.
Changes.
Yeah, I
I'd
don't
go
know
with
if I
Joanna
agree.
personally. Because yes, although I think that she could sweep out that women's field, you can't. I mean, you basically have to run a perfect race. Like almost nothing can go wrong, or you're going to lose. Well, not lose, but you're not going to get first.
And what she's been doing all year has worked without Meg in the field. Who knows how things go once Meg jumps back in there?
Yeah.
And if Lauren figures out sleds, because like let's be real, Lauren hasn't exactly performed terribly. Like we're used to her just running away with it or having dominant victories or just being right behind, but she's only like 20, 30 seconds off the win realistically.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, last question and we'll wrap up. If the season ended today, what would people be getting wrong about this field?
This is the only non-rapid fire one. It's like I'm gonna have to think about this.
I mean, I think it's just unpredictable. I think really anything that we say could be the exact opposite, truthfully. There is so much shakeup and everyone is getting very close in margin to one another, which makes the sport really exciting. But I think it is just about everyone kind of putting it together on the day and having it go well. And that could be by like a few seconds here and there. So yeah, I just think it's kind of up in the air regardless, just because the field is so strong.
I agree. I actually think that although I'm with you both, that I feel very confident in who the tier 1 athletes are. I would not be shocked if there was a fresh winner on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I think it's likely? No, but I think that it used to be, here's tier 1, here's the Grand Canyon, and here's everybody else.
Right.
And I don't think that's what it is anymore. I think it's like, here's tier 1, here's tier 2. If someone in tier 2 has their day, they could pick them off.
There's reasons to consider someone shaking up the field now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say my answer is a lot of new faces. The depth is great, but the top of the sport is as strong as ever. And if you look at the names, they've been around for years. So I think that a lot of people are focusing on these new names who are getting a qualifying spot, getting a roll down, but that's what they're doing. They're getting roll downs. The top of the sport is still the same names that we've had for years. You might have a lot of these early 20s, mid 20s athletes, brand new faces, but as much as the sport is changing, the top isn't.
Yeah. All right, gang. We did it. We did it.
And you made it through, Matt. You made it through. You still have somewhat of your voice.
I brought the energy. Hopefully next week we are back. Let us know in the comments where we got it right, where we got it wrong. If you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe button on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to the drop. Check your promos if you're a Gmail user. Probably got caught up there. Other than that, the gang's all going to be in Phoenix.
Yep.
Michelle, you're going to be in Phoenix?
Coming up.
We're coming.
I got a decision to make. I definitely want to race. I've not worked out in 9 days. This is not exactly prime training.
Doesn't matter.
Come for the vibes.
Absolutely.
You say to come for the vibes.
I think extended rest can actually help out.
This is also true.
You probably haven't.
You think I've been resting, brother? My body has been fighting for its life.
That's true.
I got the night sweats.
But you haven't been adding the physical strain on top of that.
Yeah.
Like your arms are feeling awful. Your legs are probably feeling awful, but that's because of the flu. That's not necessarily because of like I did way too many wall balls.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you bounce back, you're gonna feel a little bit more fresh than you typically do.
You're right. I actually told my wife, I don't know. When I say I haven't worked out, I didn't do anything. Like I didn't even when I ran the marathon, I was working out 3 days later. I wasn't running, but like I was doing something. The only sweating that I did was through my sweats at night. There's been no physical activity going on for over a week. We
Yeah,
are down bad.
Just got to listen to your body sometimes, and that's what you're doing. So it'll
Down
work out
bad.
to your benefit.
Down bad. If you were in Phoenix, let us know. Link up. Give us your own predictions in the comments. We'll engage. Jack will definitely tell you why you're wrong.
I'm waiting for
Dawson.
Can you beat Dawson to be the first commenter?
No.
No. He's right.
And the first comment will be, Matt, keep my name out your mouth. All right. We did it. We out. Later.
Bye.